Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Brett Carl, and today we're going to have a webinar about transforming your retail operations with ServiceNow and AI-powered workflows between GlideFast Consulting and 3C Logic. Today, our speakers include myself, Brett Carl, VP of Alliances and Solutions at GlideFast, Josh Brostoff, VP of Customer Industry Workflows at GlideFast, Todd Rudd, Senior Director of Solution Consulting at 3C Logic, and G, ServiceNow Practice Lead at 3C Logic. Before we jump into the presentation, just want to do a little quick overview about GlideFast Consulting. GlideFast has over 5,000 combined ServiceNow certifications, including personnel with their Certified Technical Architect or CTA and Certified Master Architect, CMA, able to help organizations and customers fulfill their ServiceNow needs. We have over 600 expert consultants in the space with a 4.7 CSAT score and have completed over 3,000 successful projects. We maintain our elite ServiceNow partner status, as well as build partner and premier reseller, and several offerings built on ServiceNow and built with ServiceNow. We have over 13 product line achievements. Of those, about 10 of those are certified practice areas, unvalidated practice areas, and we have several awards over the years from ServiceNow, just cementing our space in the ServiceNow ecosystem. Areas that we cover, every single product in the ServiceNow space, from SPM, ITAM, ITOM, UX, UI, and for all intents and purposes for this presentation, CSM and CRM applications. We have over 830 unique customers and clients, many in the Fortune 500. We've been able to help them with their managed services, UX, UI, design services, implementations, integrations, app development, remote services, you name it, GlideFast can do it. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to G from 3C Logic and give an overview of their organization.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. And on behalf of the 3C Logic team, thanks for having us, and thanks for all of you taking the time to join. Just a little bit about 3C Logic. We are a voice AI and contact center solution purpose-built for ServiceNow. Been doing it within the ServiceNow ecosystem here for about 10 years. And we are the most reviewed application on the ServiceNow store as the only ServiceNow certified advanced platform contact center solution available globally today. We're proud to service Fortune 500 companies, Global 2000 organizations here in the Americas, EMEA, all the way out to Asia Pac. And you'll see in today's demonstration a taste of what it is that we bring to the table, but it's basically all things voice AI, contact center, and the capabilities that come with it, queuing, skilling, all the way through to secure payments, analytics, and reporting that we bring, most importantly, as an extension of the ServiceNow platform to complement what you may have already built or choose to build, whether it's for your IT service desk, customer support group, or employee services group. So looking forward to today's session. So I'll kick it off here. Obviously, for those of you just joining, a couple things that we may cover could be forward-looking in nature. We simply ask that you take that into consideration as we go through today's discussion and deliverables. But thought it would help to kick off things a little bit in terms of just sort of where the market stands. And one of the things that I find most interesting, if you go to the next slide here, Brett, is that despite the advancements in technology over the years, customer experience, CSAT scores, and so forth have been on a downward trend all the way through to last year. And I'm sure you'll probably find that that trend is continuing to spiral. And I find that interesting because that's despite all the advancements that have been released over recent years, under the presumption that it's going to help improve customer experience. And of course, most notably, the fixation around AI and what it is expected to do for, or to improve customer experiences. So it sort of begs the question, which I think is relevant to today's topic when we talk about retail operations specifically. What is it that's perhaps not being addressed, if it's perhaps not a limitation in technological options that is preventing organizations from being able to excel in their customer experience delivery and initiatives. And if we go to the next slide, when we specifically look at challenges undermining the retail industry. I don't know that they're unique to the retail industry, but there are certainly a few that I would think our audience would relate to. First and foremost, digital transformation, which has obviously been a big focus, has its limitations. Digital tools don't always offer that degree of empathy or the ability to manage complex issues as might other channels. Which is why you see very often, stubbornly high call volumes even in today's markets. At the same time, a lot of organizations are still sort of struggling with the different platforms and technologies that they have acquired over the years, which often leads to, a broken experience and customer journey. And these disconnected systems, whether it's between your system of record, like that of ServiceNow, and your contact center solution and so forth, if they're not fully integrated, really can lead to an inconsistency, whether it's in the messaging, the delivery of those services, as well as sort of the operational efficiencies that go into maintaining these systems. And that also leads to data fragmentation, operational gaps. The majority of organizations will tell you that their organization's data is fragmented across different systems. And that fragmentation obviously is traditionally been overcome through human middleware, right? So you have agents and supervisors basically, bouncing between systems of record, between channels, trying to sort of bridge or create that bridge between these data gaps. And it's being very well, very felt when it comes to the adoption of AI, because of course AI is only as good as the information that it has access to. And if that data is sporadic and hosted in different siloed environments, you can imagine the outcomes. And so that's why that puts a lot of pressure as well when you look at item 4 on the workforce. I alluded to human middleware. Organizations are suffering burnout, teams are suffering burnout, largely because they are manually looking to overcome a lot of these challenges that I've already alluded to here at the top. At the same time, if you go to the next slide, that explains why, there's an expectation that AI could potentially be, part of the solution. In fact, Gartner predicts that, in the next couple of years, 80% of common routine requests are likely to be autonomously serviced by AI agents. Now, I want to focus and really stress that that is, the focus of that comment is on common requests, repeatable, predictable, types of requests that commonly end up creating a lot of volume, even though it's the same request over and over and over and over again. For example, a password reset request, a timed and traditional problem that almost every organization deals with. At the same time, what's happening, interestingly enough, when you look at how customers choose to engage, if you go to the next slide, is that enterprises are starting to consider shifting away from multi-channel, delivered customer experiences. So instead of focusing on being able to offer themselves, over chat and email and voice and social and all the different channels and that customers may choose to engage an organization with, they're actually looking to move towards a single AI-enabled set of channels that work synchronously at the same time, so a multimodal environment. And at the center of that, what's coming to fruition in large part thanks to the advancement of AI is voice, which is potentially expected to deliver voice-driven customer experiences as the preferred form of customer engagement in the future. We are conversational beings at the end of it. And so voice, thanks to AI in combination with perhaps SMS and video and so forth, is going through a pretty substantial evolution that's going to have a direct impact on how we deliver customer experience and services to customers. And that is likely to hold true in retail as well as other industries. And really, the best way to highlight that, to give you an idea of what that experience could look like for you already today and where it's likely headed, is a live demonstration to kind of give you an idea of what a voice AI enabled experience together with ServiceNow makes possible. And then, of course, what you'll see is it's possible in part because it's foundationally built on ServiceNow, which Josh will cover, and everything that ServiceNow brings to the table. So with that, I'm going to turn over to my counterpart here, Todd, to walk through an example of a voice AI demonstration before we go into retail operations specifically. Todd?
Great. Thank you very much. And good setup there. So what I'm going to show you today is the experience. So the scenario is there's um, a retail shop that is having a Wi-Fi outage, and so the store manager needs to call in and get some help. So what I'm going to show you is just what he was alluding to with regards to the really the inflection point we're at from a voice customer engagement experience, and that our most recent technology rollout here is really the next generation or voice experience, replacing traditional IVRs and even the NLU systems that's been in place for the past 10 years or so, and leveraging a Gen AI experience. So it is a free-flowing conversation. I can take turns. I can ask questions, that sort of thing. And it's really a truly human-like experience in interacting with this agent. It's going to interact and use a knowledge article for troubleshooting. This comes up for troubleshooting common internet issues, and it'll use this knowledge article to guide the steps through the triage. And this agent it knows that it needs to execute all the steps it's required to come up with a resolution. Either the problem has been resolved or it needs to escalate to the back office, to ServiceNow, or to an agent, to whatever is next to actually resolve the issue. So with that, let me go through the experience and show you what I mean. I did not share with sound. One moment. Okay. Hello.
Hello, I'm your Solana AI technical support specialist. Are you having an internet issue?
Yes, our Wi-Fi seems down today.
I can help you troubleshoot the Wi-Fi issue. First, could I have your store ID and your name, please?
Yes, my name is Dwight, and I am the store manager of store 7532.
I see you're calling from the Solana Central Mall location, Dwight. Can you describe what's going on with the Wi-Fi?
Well, the Wi-Fi is just not responding. All of our devices, none of them can connect, especially our POS devices. We're really struggling here.
Are all the devices in your store affected or just one?
No, it's all of them, including our PCs. Our cell phones can't connect.
Let's proceed to check the network infrastructure. Can you confirm if this is happening only in a specific part of the store, like the checkout area?
I can check that. Give me one moment. I'll walk around with my cell phone and check.
Sure, take your time. Let me know what you find.
Okay, I've walked around all parts of the store. I can't connect from any part.
Thank you for checking. Now, let's go to the networking cabinet and find the Wi-Fi router and modem. Are they showing power and are there any blinking lights?
Well, what I think is the modem, it shows power, but the one with the antenna, that's got to be the Wi-Fi router. It doesn't have any lights at all.
It sounds like we need to reset the Wi-Fi router. Please unplug it, wait 15 seconds, and then plug it back in. Once it is powered back up, let me know the status of the lights.
Okay, I've done that, but it's really not powering back up at all. There are no lights. We did have storms yesterday and the power went out. I wonder if maybe it killed it.
It seems that the Wi-Fi router is not powering on, which could indeed be due to the power outage. I've opened a support ticket for your store regarding this issue. Your case number is RC00011021. A technician will take over and be in contact with you for next steps. Thanks for contacting me. I'm always here to provide assistance.
Okay, so hopefully you can see that was a real, dynamic conversation, a lot of complex inputs, but it was actually, like talking with a human. Me as a user, I feel like I gave it all the information I could. Let's go see what that looks like now in ServiceNow and pull up the cases and here's the latest 7532 was the store. And from that conversation, the AI pulled the relevant details, with both as a short description as well as the what was going on, and we checked out all the system. All devices are not able to connect. So with that, I'm going to hand it over, I think, to Josh or G. Are you talking next?
No, yeah, I definitely hand it over to Josh. Excuse me, because obviously this is where there's a connection between the contact center experience and the retail operation management tool. But there was one quick question which might just handle here live, which was what happens if this goes to a live agent, right? So obviously we're only showing you a very specific part of the 3C Logic solution, which is the voice AI, deflection capabilities. But you're right. To my earlier point, sometimes things need to be escalated, or part of the challenge is being able to balance AI with the live agents that may be adding that support structure for more complex inquiries. So if it did go or transfer to a live agent, then the call would be transferred. The agent would actually have the case populated to them so they know what it's about. They would already understand what is the overall summary of the conversation that occurred virtually with the voice bot, and then have the option to carry it forward. And then all of the automated things that you would hope for, the call transcript, the summarization of that engagement gets all stored into ServiceNow. And all of that can be administered and managed by the supervisor within ServiceNow, whether it's the creation of these bots, the creation of the IVR flows, all the way through to dashboarding.
Awesome. Thanks, G. So if we don't mind just sharing up again here, and I'm going to go through a little bit about retail operations, and first just start off with what is retail operations first and foremost, to kind of give an explanation of how it can support some of the use cases that Todd just talked about, and really support the operations within your retail locations as well. So if we go to the next slide here. So first and foremost, wanted to give an overview. So retail operations, it really allows you to better support your store associates and the managers in those stores as well, to be able to report issues. So let's say, for example, right, the Wi-Fi was down, or there's a spill of a hazardous material in one of the aisles. It allows you to be able to report those issues as a store associate and get support from headquarters, to be able to help resolve those issues, right? So not only from a support perspective can you streamline that process, but also allowing headquarters to be able to push down tasks to associates to complete certain things as well. So whether it be around they need to recall a certain product, or they need to change out the marketing collateral within a store, you're able to actually assign tasks to those retail associates as well to complete those types of things. And overall, you're able to centralize all of this and view things like SLA metrics, and be able to support the frontline teams and the back-end teams as well throughout your retail locations. So a complete game changer in the way that you're able to provide the support to the individuals that are working within those stores, and centralize all of the data in one place. So the way that people like associates are able to open up cases and get support for issues that they may be having in the store, let's say that a payment system is down and it's impacting their ability to continue to sell products, they're able to easily access the retail service portal, where they can do things like open up service requests, they can open up retail cases, do things like view of all of the tasks that are actually assigned to them from management as well, and complete those all in one place. So it's really a one-stop shop for everyone who's working within the team, within the store, to come and complete these activities. And what's great about it is you're able to do things like automate the routing and assignment of these cases to go to particular support teams based on a location. Once an associate submits it through the retail portal, you're able to see all of the communications centralized in one place, see all of the tasks that are assigned to you, and easily complete those things from start to finish. So instead of having to do everything through email and not be able to see where things stand throughout the process, having all of this in one portal that any of your associates can access makes it significantly easier to be able to streamline support operations for all of your different business locations across the country or across the world as well. So just moving forward, apart from the retail service portal as well, if we go to the next slide here, is what I was referring to earlier around retail task management. And this is what I was referring to where if you have a certain activity that needs to happen, so let's say, for example, that you're a major retailer and you have 3,000 different store locations all over the world, and you're running a promotional campaign and you have posters that are up at all of your different retail locations. And when that campaign ends and you're starting a new marketing campaign, you want to swap out all of the posters. You can imagine the difficulty of trying to orchestrate an activity like that among 3,000 different stores. And how do we actually track to make sure that, yes, all of the store associates have gone and actually removed the old poster and put up the new one and completed this and confirm that this activity is actually happening. So through retail task management, we're able to mass assign to multiple different stores throughout the globe the ability to actually complete these tasks, and those associates are notified and they're able to go into the retail service portal and complete these tasks. And then the management team can actually say, yes, we've completed this, this is done, and we're able to move forward, right? So having all of your stores operate in the same manager, all in, the same process, right? All in unison as one, and really deliver that kind of same type of brand experience to your customers is really what retail task management enables to make sure that you're providing, the same experience for your customers across stores, and that, the customers that you have are safe within your stores as well. There are no hazards and other things like that. So really a big game changer in terms of being able to orchestrate all of your different store operations through tasks that get assigned to your associates. So apart from task management as well, moving forward here is the product catalog as well. So when you think about complicated store operations that need to happen for things like the opening of stores, the closing of stores, right? If you need new equipment, you need a new payment system because one of your old ones broke. The fulfillment process around these things can be really perfectly done through a workflow within ServiceNow and through the product catalog, and really creating an organized way to do this. So if you think about all the different steps that need to happen to open a store, right, there's likely multiple different teams involved. There's the regulatory and compliance piece, there's the financial aspect of it, there's the actual shipping of all the equipment that needs to happen to the franchise owner. So there's a lot of different things that need to happen around store operations or of the opening of a store. And by putting this in a service catalog, it makes it significantly easier to orchestrate all of those activities into one central place, and allows store managers and franchise owners in this example to kind of complete that process from start to finish and have a repeatable process for this to happen, and make sure that whenever we do these operations, it goes smoothly. So for retail businesses that are opening up, rapidly scaling or opening up thousands of stores, and we need to make sure that we have everything checked and done the same way from store to store, this makes it significantly easier through a catalog where we can create these repeatable services and processes to be able to do that. And also simplify things like common service requests, like opening a case, or other unique processes that may be applicable to your retail location or your retail organization. So significant gains with being able to standardize how you offer those different types of services to your retail staff. So as we go forward with that as well, I know where this kind of all comes back to as well is around the data and analytics. So the most important thing is to be able to actually understand what's going on with all of these different stores. Is everything operating the way that we expect? Are there any outages? Are there ongoing hazardous issues at our stores? Are they able to continue to collect revenue, right? The most important thing, and continue operations as we go forward. So having this centralized view of everything that's going on, and the different managers at those stores and the different staff that we see at those, and be able to really dig into everything that's happening all in one, is something that's just phenomenal about the way that retail operations work. Where if you're managing these things out of spreadsheets or email, you don't have an easy way to get insight into everything that's happening and making sure that you're actually delivering to the customers that you have. So centralizing all of that data and analytics in one place and being able to view that is just something that we're never able to do before, right? With thousands of different retail locations. And one of the nice things that we're able to provide as part of retail operations. So one of the things that this all ties back to is around, AI agents, right? In the example that Todd gave around the internet being down. And if we move to the next slide here, Brett, one of the examples that we're able to provide as part of this is plan generation for issue resolution. And before in ServiceNow, before AI agents, you really had to document out a step-by-step workflow of what you wanted to happen when there's an issue within a store, right? And what's really game changing in terms of the way that we look at the AI capabilities within ServiceNow and AI agents is you can now actually create an AI agent like we have on the example on the right-hand screen here, where you're laying out specific tasks that need to happen from start to finish, similar to how a lot of people may understand prompting to be able to resolve an issue, right? So when we take a look at the example of the internet being down within a store, we can lay out the different things that need to happen. So the first is actually retrieving the task from the database. We can look at similar tasks that may have come in. So are there other customers that have, or other retail managers that have opened up cases for the internet being down within their stores, right? And have those been resolved? So the first thing that we can look at is saying, do we know that there's a network issue, right? And if so, do we need to really go through all the troubleshooting steps to understand this? So we can fetch, similar tasks, right? We can also do things like looking out at the knowledge base for how to resolve these types of issues and provide input to the agent of, hey, when there's an outage with this specific error code, here's how you can go about and actually direct the store manager to reset the Wi-Fi, or if we need to ship them a new router because we know that the old ones are defective, whatever else needs to happen to actually get to the resolution of those issues. We can do that through agentic AI within ServiceNow. And one of the great things about this is you can combine different things like flow actions and scripts and search retrievals to be able to create our AI agent. So it leverages a lot of the same tools that are available to us in combination with the new AI capabilities of being able to do this. So through combination of these different things, we're able to create these AI agents. And you can actually use these types of activities across multiple different AI agents as well. So when we look at the examples on the right-hand screen around getting similar incidents or getting similar cases or getting details, and then looking up in the knowledge base, we can reuse those time and time again. So it actually provides for different use cases that you have throughout your organization around maybe it's something simple as resolving a Wi-Fi issue. We can reuse that same code, those same scripts, those same flows within different AI agents to make it easier to continue to scale to resolve specific use cases that maybe different departments have as well. So it really provides you a really easy way to be able to do this and start to leverage some of the capabilities of combining AI as well as some of the out of the box capabilities, like the things I discussed below to get to the finish line. So a lot of, phenomenal automation from start to finish of being able to instruct an agent on how to do this without them having to go through the manual triage process of understanding what the issue is and doing manual lookups. It will actually go out to all these different areas within the platform and within data that you have of similar tasks, the knowledge base, and find for you and prompt you on how to resolve those issues. So you can imagine from a time saving perspective, it's pretty significant, right, of not having to do those steps from start to finish and having the system do it for you through the AI agents. So just again, a game changer in terms of the platform capabilities, especially for retail and some of the different use cases that we talked about as part of this. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Brett.
Thank you, Josh. And I think it's a great summary there of how we tied ServiceNow back to agentic and back to voice, right? Having all those components built inside of the ServiceNow platform are powerful. And it's not just limited to retail for this example, but it's the use case that we wanted to go with to show the power of if you don't have that internet connection, and you can't use your standard portal. You can't look up a knowledge base. You're not able to find your information. You can make that request and have AI voice help you with that, along with 3C Logic and ServiceNow. So I wanted to open up for questions. If you want to go ahead and type your questions into the chat there in the webinar, we can go ahead and get to those. We do have a couple that popped up. So the first thing I want to bring up is, can I reuse scripts, flows, and search retrievals between multiple AI agents?
The answer is yes, you can. So if you have scripts that currently exist, right, that are in script includes or that are within flows, or you have existing flows, you can reuse those within multiple different AI agents. So definitely if you have similar use cases throughout the org, you don't need to recreate those. You can leverage them and design them in such a way from, to be scalable in terms of the architecture that other business units can reuse components of that same AI agent for their specific use case.
All right, thank you, Josh. And I think this next question is for 3C Logic. How does the 3C Logic solution compare or differ from other options? For example, AWS Connect.
Yeah, that's a fair question. Obviously, there are options out there, different contact center platforms, just like there are other, platforms that compete with that of ServiceNow. The way I would phrase that is, to my earlier point, one of the biggest challenges that a lot of organizations struggle with is trying to understand from which platform they should source what capabilities. And because there's very often pretty substantial overlap, and I would say duplication of capabilities between most contact center platforms and a CRM platform like that of ServiceNow, that can create quite a bit of problems for organizations because they have to determine, am I sourcing chat from ServiceNow or AI or whatnot? And as soon as you're split between systems, you end up having, split outcomes, disjointed journeys, and so forth. So one of the things that 3C Logic set out to do differently from others, you mentioned AWS Connect as an example, is really to architect ourselves in a way that fully monetizes your existing investment and use of the capabilities already native and on platform with ServiceNow. We don't have digital channels to compete with ServiceNow. We actually integrate and have a present sync between them. We choose to use ServiceNow as the primary system of record so that data is not split between different environments and more importantly consolidated in one place so that you do have a clean database that can launch agentic AI workflows or make it easy to understand where a case currently stands or who may have serviced it. So your back office, middle, and front office are really working in unison, and the contact center becomes an extension of that. And it really is a full-fledged solution all the way through to the administrative experience, where that is also delivered to customers in the form of an update set in ServiceNow. So our voice AI connects to ServiceNow's agentic AI. We don't pull data out. We focus on doing data enrichment into ServiceNow, whether it's call transcriptions, the sentiment attributes of a conversation that may have occurred, real-time transcription, and so forth. The agent experience is built to be one unified experience within ServiceNow. So the agent can manage ServiceNow's digital channels as well as all of those voice intakes as well. So it's different in that it's really a solution purpose-built to enhance what you're already choosing to do with ServiceNow, but also making sure that the contact center is now an extension of your operational workflows and your back office initiatives and not yet another platform that now you're subject to having to connect and integrate and maintain, which is different than some of the other solutions where you might have a rector set, but it's up to you to put the pieces together, and more importantly, all the cost and maintenance that comes with that, or some of the other solutions that again might attempt to be a CRM-like system at the expense of what you might be doing on ServiceNow. So if you're using ServiceNow or plan to, whether it's in IT, in an internal help desk, or in a customer support initiative, I would argue that we're going to be the most ServiceNow-centric offering that will allow you to fully monetize the investment you've made there already.
All right, thank you, G. I appreciate that. That definitely helps sift through some of the different options that you have available out there and gives people some choice. Well, this concludes our webinar today with 3C Logic and GlideFast around the ServiceNow offering of retail operations and agentic AI and voice. And thank you for attending and have a good day. Thank you.